precious child, tonight is not an ordinary night. This is not just another video you randomly clicked. This is not a coincidence. This is not an algorithm. This is not luck. This is a divine interruption. God is saying, I'm tired of trying to reach you. And if that sentence makes your heart beat a little faster, it is because your spirit recognizes the weight of it. You were not supposed to open this tomorrow. You were not supposed to delay this until morning. You were not supposed to ignore it like the other messages. There is a reason the clock matters. There is a reason 11:59 p.m. is not random. There is a reason you felt a strange urgency before tapping this. Heaven had been knocking gently for months. Whispers came through small signs. Warnings came through subtle shifts. Guidance came through quiet conviction. But you were busy, distracted, tired, overwhelmed. And now the tone has changed. Not because God hates you, not because He wants to harm you, but because love sometimes raises its voice when whispers are ignored. Listen carefully. Something very serious will happen to you tonight, not as punishment, but as exposure. Not to destroy you, but to wake you. And if you ignore this moment, the lesson will not disappear, it will only become louder. Right now, the Archangel Michael stands on assignment concerning you. He has been watching the spiritual battle around your house. Yes, your house. The place you sleep. The place you feel safest. The place you think is under control. But what you cannot see is what heaven sees clearly. There has been spiritual interference around your dwelling. There has been tension building in unseen realms. There hath been manipulation, subtle and strategic. And you felt it. A sudden heaviness in certain rooms. That strange discomfort at night. That unexplained shift in someone's behavior. You brushed it off. But heaven did not. God is saying, I have sent signs. I have sent dreams. I have sent warnings through people. I have slowed certain plans down for your protection. I have delayed what you thought was a blessing because it would have harmed you. And still you kept walking forward without asking why. Tonight is a line in the sand. Before 11:59 p.m., you must pause. Not scroll. Not multitask. Not half listen. Pause. Because something connected to your home is about to be revealed. And truth. A hidden motive. A concealed intention. And it involves a woman. Do not misunderstand this. This is not about fear. This is not about paranoia. This is about discernment. There is a woman whose presence has not been pure. Her words have carried two meanings. Her smiles have hidden questions. Her concern has not been innocent. And you sensed it once. But you doubted yourself. Archangel Michael has been standing guard, preventing what could have escalated already. The reason nothing exploded earlier is because heaven restrained it. But restraint has a limit. When God says, I'm tired of trying to reach you, it means the protective whispers are turning into undeniable clarity. Tonight, you may notice a conversation that exposes something, a message that arrives unexpectedly, a slip of the tongue, a sudden confrontation, or even a powerful dream that reveals truth symbolically. Do not panic when it happens. Recognize it, because this exposure is mercy. God would rather disturb your peace for a night than allow deception to live in your house for years. There is something attached to your environment that does not belong there. It has been influencing energy, decisions, and even your emotions. Have you noticed your motivation dropping recently? Have you felt more irritated without reason? Have small arguments become bigger than necessary? This is not random. And here is the most serious part: if you ignore this message tonight, if you treat this as just another dramatic warning and move on, the seriousness will not vanish. It will intensify. Because heaven has already scheduled a revelation. Archangel Michael does not draw his sword for entertainment. He moves when a boundary is crossed. And a boundary has been crossed in your life. The woman connected to this message may not even realize the full impact of her actions. But intentions, hidden or conscious, carry spiritual weight. And God is done letting it slide. This is the last gentle call before undeniable evidence appears. Before 11:59 p.m., you need to pray specifically over your home. Not a casual prayer. Not a rushed whisper. A deliberate declaration. Walk through your rooms if you must. Stand at your door if you must. Place your hand on a wall if you must. And say any hidden intention, any deception, any spiritual interference be exposed tonight. Do not say it in fear. Say it in authority. Because you are not alone. Archangel Michael is already positioned. But heaven responds to agreement. Heaven responds to acknowledgement. Heaven responds when you finally say, I am listening. This is not about scaring you. This is about saving you from something bigger. The clock is moving. And when midnight approaches, something will shift. The question is not whether something will happen. The question is, will you be spiritually prepared when it does? I will continue to unfold what heaven showed me about this situation and what you must do next to ensure protection, clarity, and complete exposure. Chosen one, lean in closer now, because what I am about to reveal explains why the pressure around you has been increasing instead of decreasing. When God says, I'm tired of trying to reach you, it is not the voice of abandonment. It is the voice of urgency. It is the sound of a father who hath been sending signal after signal, only to watch you silence the notifications of your own spirit. You prayed for clarity, yet when clarity started forming, you called it stress. You asked for truth, yet when truth began surfacing, you labeled it drama. Heaven hath been speaking, but you have been interpreting it through fear instead of discernment. There is a pattern in your life that repeats whenever elevation is close. Just before breakthrough, confusion appears. Just before peace settles in your house, tension rises. Just before you step into something stable, someone brings instability. This is not coincidence. Archangel Michael has been restraining a cycle that has tried to follow you from season to season. The reason it feels intense right now is because this cycle is about to be permanently broken. Tonight is not about random exposure. It is about divine timing. Something hath been building behind the scenes, and you have felt it in subtle ways. You may have sensed distance from someone who once felt aligned with you. You may have noticed inconsistencies in words and actions. You may have ignored small red flags because you wanted harmony more than honesty. But heaven values truth over temporary comfort. The woman, connected to this message, is part of a larger spiritual lesson. This is not about blame. This is about alignment. There has been influence in your environment that has quietly shaped your decisions. Not loudly, not aggressively, but gently, almost invisibly. Suggestions planted at the right moments. Doubts introduced at strategic times. Emotional reactions triggered when you were most vulnerable. You thought these were normal interactions. But in the spiritual realm, patterns were forming. Archangel Michael did not move without instruction. His assignment around your home intensified because your destiny intensified. The closer you move it toward something significant, the more resistance surrounded you. The enemy does not attack what has no value. The tension around your house is proof of your potential. God is not tired of loving you. He is tired of watching you ignore what He has already confirmed. There were dreams you dismissed. There were gut feelings you talked yourself out of. There were moments of silence when you felt a check in your spirit, and you overrode it with logic. Tonight, logic will not protect you. Discernment will. Something serious may manifest as a confrontation, or it may manifest as undeniable proof. It may come through a conversation that feels uncomfortable but revealing. It may come through an unexpected confession. It may come through a realization so strong that you cannot ignore it anymore. When it happens, do not react impulsively. Observe. Listen. Let truth reveal itself fully. Your role tonight is not to accuse. Your role is to stay spiritually steady. When exposure comes, emotions try to take control. But Archangel Michael stands not only as a warrior, but as a stabilizer. He guards your reactions as much as your surroundings. If you remain calm, the truth will unfold clearly. If you panic, clarity becomes clouded. There is also something you must understand deeply. Sometimes God allows a situation to reach its peak so that you can never doubt the revelation again. If He had exposed this earlier, you might have defended the wrong person. If He had shown you partial truth, you might have minimized it. But when heaven exposes fully, there is no confusion left. This message found you because you are at a spiritual crossroads. After tonight, you will not see certain relationships the same way. You will not tolerate certain energies the same way. You will not ignore your intuition the same way. And that shift is necessary for where you are going next. If this is speaking directly to your spirit, do not stay silent. Engage with this message. Like this video so it reaches others who are also on the edge of a revelation. Share it with someone who needs discernment tonight. Comment what you are feeling as you listen, because your testimony may unlock courage in someone else. Subscribe and become part of this growing spiritual family, because these messages are not random uploads. They are divine alerts for critical moments. And before you move on, understand this. What is about to unfold will make everything clearer than it has ever been. Hold on, because the next revelation connects the exposure in your house to something even deeper in your past. You will want to hear how far this truly goes. Faithful soul, what you are experiencing tonight is not isolated to this moment. It is connected to a pattern that began long before this current situation ever formed. The reason this exposure feels heavy is because it is not just about one conversation, or one woman, or one misunderstanding. It is about a cycle that has tried to anchor itself in your life repeatedly, especially within your home. God is revealing that this is not the first time someone close to you carried hidden intentions. There were earlier seasons when you sensed something was off, but you doubted yourself. You chose peace over confrontation. You chose silence over clarity. You convinced yourself that you were overthinking. But heaven recorded every moment your spirit tried to alert you. Archangel Michael has been assigned to break generational interference around you. Yes, generational. Because the pattern of misplaced trust and concealed motives did not start with you. It flowed through family lines. It hid behind familiarity. It disguised itself as normal. And because it felt familiar, you tolerated it longer than you should have. This is why tonight matters so deeply. Something very serious is happening in the spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical. There is a separation occurring. Not necessarily a physical separation, but energetic and spiritual separation. What has been mixing in your space without belonging there is being identified and marked for removal. You may feel an unusual restlessness as the night progresses. You may feel unusually alert. You may even feel emotional without knowing why. Do not dismiss it. When truth approaches, the body reacts before the mind understands. God is saying, I tried to whisper. I tried to nudge. I tried to slow you down gently. But now you must see clearly. The woman connected to this message is not random. Her presence intersected your path at a specific time, and if you look carefully, her arrival coincided with subtle instability. Plans shifted. Decision changed. Your emotional state fluctuated. It was subtle enough that you could not prove it, but it was consistent enough that heaven took notice. Archangel Michael does not intervene without cause. His sword represents clarity and protection, not aggression. When he stands at the entrance of your home spiritually, it means something crossed a line. It means influence attempted to overstep boundaries. Tonight, exposure is mercy. You might discover information that redefines your understanding of someone's loyalty. You might realize that conversations were shared elsewhere. You might recognize manipulation that once looked like care. Whatever form it takes, do not let shock control you. Let discernment anchor you. Because this revelation is not here to break you. It is here to free you. God is tired of trying to reach you because he knows how high you are meant to rise next. And you cannot ascend while carrying hidden interference. You cannot build stability while ignoring cracks in the foundation. You cannot step into divine alignment while entertaining disguised misalignment. This is not about revenge. This is about recalibration. As midnight approaches, pray with intention. Declare that anything hidden must come into light. Declare that your home is covered in divine authority. Declare that Archangel Michael stands guard at every doorway, spiritually and physically. When you speak with confidence, heaven responds with reinforcement. There is also something profound about the timing. 11 represents transition. 59 represents the final minute before change. You are at the edge of a shift. After tonight, you will not operate from uncertainty in the same way again. You will trust your discernment more. You will question inconsistency sooner. You will protect your peace more fiercely. God is not withdrawing from you. He is confronting the barrier between you and clarity. And once exposure happens, do not rush to announce it to everyone. Sit with it. Pray over it. Allow wisdom to guide your next steps. Not every revelation requires immediate reaction. Some require strategic silence. If your heart is pounding as you hear this, it is because your spirit recognizes truth. Now, before this night unfolds completely, seal this moment with faith. Type "I choose divine clarity" in the comments if this message confirms what you have been sensing. Blessing code 314 is now activated over your home and your discernment. And as this revelation flows into your life tonight, understand something powerful. When you sow into the spread of truth, you participate in someone else's awakening. The same light exposing darkness in your house can illuminate another soul's confusion. Scripture declares, "What is done in secret will be brought to light," and tonight that word is alive, speaking directly into your situation. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are fueling a spiritual signal that reaches homes at their breaking point. I feel led to say this plainly. When you move in obedience, heaven multiplies impact. Your seed becomes oil in someone else's lamp. Your generosity becomes a sword in someone else's battle. Do not hesitate when your spirit feels the nudge. This is not about pressure. This is about participation in divine exposure. As you give, may protection surround your household, may clarity increase in your decisions, and may every hidden agenda around you lose its power. Step into this moment boldly. Activate your support now, and let your obedience echo beyond your own walls. If you are ready, I will continue unfolding what happens after the exposure and how to secure your peace permanently. Beloved listener, what happens after exposure determines whether you walk into freedom or fall back into another cycle. Many people pray for truth, but when truth finally stands in front of them, they feel overwhelmed by its weight. Tonight is not only about what is revealed, it is about how you respond when revelation arrives. After 11:59 p.m., there will be a shift in atmosphere. You may notice a strange calmness after tension, or you may sense a sudden emotional reaction from someone close to you. When hidden motives are uncovered, insecurity surfaces quickly. Pay attention not only to words but to energy. Truth creates peace in the one who stands in integrity, and discomfort in the one who has something to hide. God is not exposing this situation to create chaos in your home. He is removing chaos that have been hiding behind lightness. There is a difference. Sometimes peace is not the absence of conflict. Sometimes peace is the presence of clarity. Archangel Michael remains assigned to your household because this is a pivotal moment. Exposure without protection can create emotional turbulence, but exposure with divine covering creates transformation. You are not meant to fight. You are meant to observe, discern, and stand firm. There is something deeper you must understand. The woman connected to this message may react defensively when truth surfaces. She may deny, deflect, or shift blame. That reaction will tell you more than the evidence itself. When someone is aligned with light, they welcome clarity. When someone is hiding in shadow, they resist it. Do not argue to prove your point. Do not chase validation. When God exposes something, He does not require you to convince anyone else. Truth stands on its own authority. Your responsibility is to protect your peace and make wise decisions moving forward. You might feel a temptation to soften the situation to avoid discomfort. You might feel the urge to minimize what you discover because confrontation feels heavy. But remember why this moment exists. God said He was tired of trying to reach you. That means this is not small. This is significant. There is also a personal lesson hidden inside this event. You are learning to trust your spiritual instincts. For too long, you relied on external reassurance. You waited for someone else to confirm what you already sensed internally. But maturity and discernment means recognizing that the Holy Spirit can alert you directly. After tonight, your awareness will increase. You will notice subtleties more quicker. You will detect inconsistency sooner. And you will not ignore inner warnings as easily. This is growth. This is elevation. However, elevation often requires separation. Not dramatic separation. Not explosive exits, but internal boundaries. You may choose to limit access to your private thoughts. You may adjust how much influence certain people have over your decisions. You may quietly reposition yourself without making a public announcement. This is wisdom, not coldness. Archangel Michael's presence around your home also symbolizes restored authority. You have allowed certain dynamics to shape your environment without realizing it. Now, authority is returning to you. You will no longer feel like a guest in your own emotional space. You will no longer feel subtly controlled by someone else's mood or manipulation. God is restoring leadership in your household. There may be a conversation soon where you must speak calmly but firmly. Choose your words carefully. Do not attack character. Address behavior. Clarity delivered with composure carries power. If the other person raises their voice, keep yours steady. If they become emotional, remain grounded. Stability exposes instability without force. And if the truth revealed tonight confirms your deepest suspicion, do not feel guilty for seeing clearly. Awareness is not betrayal. Protecting your peace is not selfish. Distance from hidden motives is not cruelty. There is another layer to this message. What is happening now is preparing you for a new alignment. Once interference is removed, new connections will enter your life that are transparent and supportive. But space must be cleared first. You cannot receive healthy influence while tolerating disguised interference. This is why the timing feels urgent. God is repositioning you quickly because something significant is approaching in your future. A new opportunity, a new responsibility, a new level of visibility, and hidden instability cannot follow you into that season. Tonight is not the end of something good. It is the removal of something misaligned. As you move through the rest of this night, stay observant. Stay prayerful. Speak less and listen more. Watch reactions carefully. Notice patterns. Let clarity settle fully before making any decisions. You are not alone in this transition. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of your boundaries. And God's voice, though firm, is guiding you toward stability, not fear. The next revelation will uncover why the situation connects to something even bigger than your home. What is being corrected here echoes into your future in ways you cannot yet see. Steady your heart, because what is unfolding in your home is only the surface of a deeper spiritual correction that has been scheduled for your life. This is not just about a woman being exposed. This is about a door being closed that has quietly allowed instability to revisit you again and again. There is a spiritual principle at work here. When God prepares to elevate someone, He first purifies their environment. Elevation and hidden disorder cannot coexist for long. You have been praying for growth. You have been asking for expansion, for breakthrough, for progress. But what you did not fully understand is that growth requires pruning. Breakthrough requires exposure. Progress requires separation from what weakens you. The reason this situation feels intense is because it is connected to your next level. What is happening tonight is not random conflict. It is preparation. Archangel Michael is not only guarding your home, he is guarding your destiny. When spiritual interference lingers around your dwelling, it begins to influence your focus, your energy, and your decision-making. That influence, if left unchecked, could delay what is meant for you. God is saying, I am tired of trying to reach you because I see where you are going, and you are underestimating the seriousness of what surrounds you. You have tolerated subtle disrespect. You have excused inconsistent behavior. You have allowed someone to speak into your life without fully discerning their intention. This does not mean you are weak. It means you are compassionate. But compassion without discernment creates vulnerability. Tonight's revelation is the closing of access. The woman involved may have had influence in ways you did not immediately recognize. Perhaps she offered advice at critical moments. Perhaps she planted seeds of doubt when you were making important decisions. Perhaps she subtly redirected conversations to shape outcomes in her favor. These actions may not have seemed dramatic individually, but collectively they formed a pattern. And patterns shape destinies. Archangel Michael's intervention signifies that this pattern cannot continue. You are being repositioned into spiritual authority. When authority is restored, manipulation loses its grip. When clarity increases, confusion dissolves. There is also something personal you must confront within yourself. Why did you ignore your early warnings? Why did you override your intuition? Why did you silence your own discomfort to maintain harmony? These questions are not meant to condemn you. They are meant to strengthen you. Self-awareness prevents repetition. As truth settles in, you may feel a mixture of relief and disappointment. Relief because you finally see clearly. Disappointment because clarity sometimes confirms what you hoped was untrue. Allow yourself to process both emotions without rushing. Do not rush to cut someone off aggressively. Do not rush to expose them publicly. Divine exposure does not require human drama. Sometimes the most powerful move is quiet withdrawal. Sometimes the strongest statement is reduce access. Your home must become a place of peace again. Not forced peace, but authentic peace. That begins with energetic boundaries. Speak life in your rooms. Lay worship softly if you feel led. Open windows if possible and pray over the air itself. These actions are not symbolic only. They align your spirit with authority. There is a reason the message emphasized timing before midnight. Midnight represents transition from one state to another. You are transitioning from naivety to awareness, from tolerance to discernment, from confusion to clarity. And after tonight, you will not operate the same way. This correction will ripple into other areas of your life. You will start reevaluating friendships. You will examine conversations more closely. You will guard your plans more carefully. This is not paranoia. It is maturity. God is not making you suspicious. He is making you wise. Archangel Michael's role in this moment also signals protection against retaliation. Sometimes when hidden motives are uncovered, there can be emotional backlash. But you are covered. If you remain calm and anchored in prayer, instability cannot overpower you. There is something significant approaching your future that requires a clear environment. A decision that must be made without outside distortion. An opportunity that must be evaluated with a sharp mind. This cleansing ensures that when that moment arrives, you will not be swayed by subtle manipulation. Take a deep breath and recognize the gravity of what is happening. You are being refined, not punished. You are being prepared, not attacked. The next insight will reveal why this pattern targeted your home specifically and how it connects to something valuable that you carry within you. What you possess spiritually has drawn both favor and interference, and understanding this will change how you guard yourself moving forward. Listen carefully now, because what I am about to reveal explains why your home became the focus of this spiritual tension in the first place. This was never random. It was strategic. Your house was targeted because of what you carry within you. You carry influence. Not loud influence. Not public influence necessarily, but spiritual influence. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your words carry weight. Your decisions affect more people than you realize. There is a leadership grace over your life that you have not fully stepped into yet. And leadership always attracts both alignment and opposition. A home is the foundation of authority. When your home feels unstable, your confidence weakens. When your environment feels heavy, your clarity decreases. When subtle tension lingers around you daily, your energy drains slowly. The interference was not meant to destroy you overnight. It was meant to exhaust you gradually. That is why the pattern had to be exposed. Archangel Michael's assignment around your dwelling was activated because your authority was being tested. The interference did not come loudly. It came relationally. It came through conversation, suggestion, emotional influence. It came through someone who had access. Access is powerful. The enemy rarely attacks from distance when proximity is available. But here is the shift. Now that exposure has begun, access is being redefined. You may notice in the coming days that certain people begin to distance themselves naturally. You may feel less desire to share personal details. You may sense a new protective instinct rising within you. This is not fear. This is restored authority. When God says He is tired of trying to reach you, it means He is accelerating your awakening. There is also something you must guard carefully now: your reaction. After clarity comes temptation. The temptation to confront harshly. The temptation to prove you were right. The temptation to replay every red flag in frustration. But growth is demonstrated in restraint. Archangel Michael stands not only with a sword, but with discipline. Strength is controlled power. Speak when necessary. Remain silent when wise. Let actions adjust naturally rather than forcing dramatic change. This is also a moment to evaluate your inner circle. Who truly celebrates your growth? Who subtly competes? Who offers advice that strengthens you? And who offers advice that confuses you? The exposure of one dynamic often reveals others. God is strengthening your discernment because something greater is approaching. You cannot step into greater visibility while surrounded by hidden distortion. You can't build something stable while tolerating emotional instability near your foundation. If this message is resonating deeply, take a moment right now to engage. Like this video so it continues reaching those who are standing at similar crossroads tonight. Share it with someone who may need divine clarity in their own home. Comment what you are sensing as these revelations unfold, because your words could confirm someone else's intuition. Subscribe and become part of this community of awakened listeners who refuse to ignore spiritual warnings. And if you feel led, join the membership and stand with this mission consistently. These messages are not ordinary content. They are spiritual alerts for decisive seasons. Now understand this carefully. When a pattern breaks, there is often a brief period of silence. That silence is not emptiness. It is recalibration. You may feel things become unusually quiet after the tension fades. Do not misinterpret quiet as loneliness. It is preparation space. In this space, God will begin speaking more clearly to you. Without interference clouding your judgment, your decisions will become sharper. Your confidence will increase. Your sleep may even improve. The heaviness that once felt normal will lift. Archangel Michael's presence signifies that your house is being sealed with protection. But protection requires participation. Continue praying intentionally. Continue speaking authority over your rooms. Continue trusting your inner warnings when they surface. And here is something critical. Do not allow guilt to reopen a door that heaven has closed. Compassion must be balanced with wisdom. Forgive, yes, but forgiveness does not require restored access. You can release resentment while maintaining boundaries. The seriousness of tonight was never about fear. It was about urgency. You were standing at the edge of repeating a cycle that could have delayed you significantly. Exposure interrupted. Hold your focus, because what comes next reveals how this correction aligns with a future opportunity that will demand your full clarity and strength. Trust me, what is ahead makes this moment even more necessary than you currently realize. Take a deep breath and steady yourself, because what is unfolding now is the deeper layer behind everything you have just experienced. The exposure in your home was not only about removing interference. It was about preparing you for an opportunity that requires absolute clarity of mind and stability of spirit. There is something approaching your life that will demand mature discernment. It may come in the form of a partnership, a financial decision, a relocation, or a leadership responsibility. Whatever form it takes, it will look promising on the surface, but without the correction that just took place, You could have entered it with compromised perception. God is not dramatic without reason. When He says, "I'm tired of trying to reach you," it signals that a deadline was approaching. Not a deadline of destruction, but a deadline of decision. You were nearing a moment where one wrong influence could have shaped a long-term outcome. Archangel Michael's intervention ensured that before you stepped into that next season, the atmosphere around you was purified. Imagine building something valuable on unstable ground. No matter how strong the structure looks, cracks will eventually form. The exposure you experienced was the reinforcement of your foundation. Now, let us speak honestly about your growth. You have matured more than you realize. In the past, similar situations might have led to emotional explosions or dramatic confrontations. But this time, you paused. You observed. You processed. That alone shows spiritual development. The very fact that you are listening carefully instead of reacting impulsively reveals transformation. However, growth also comes with loneliness at times. When certain dynamics shift, you may feel temporarily isolated. Not because you are abandoned, but because you are transitioning. Some people were assigned to previous chapters of your life, not the next one. Releasing them does not erase the memories, it simply honors the evolution. There is also a warning within this blessing. As you rise, new people will enter your life. Not everyone will have negative intentions, but not everyone will be aligned either. Discernment must become your constant companion. Do not be overly suspicious, but do not be overly trusting without observation. Archangel Michael's role in your life now symbolizes heightened awareness. You will begin to sense subtle shifts in conversations. You will notice inconsistencies more quickly. You will detect when advice carries hidden agenda. This is not hypervigilance. It is sharpened perception. The next opportunity coming toward you will test whether you truly learned from this correction. Someone may present something that appears supportive. It may seem generous. It may feel exciting. But before committing, pause. Pray. Evaluate. Do not rush because of pressure or persuasion. God is teaching you to slow down at critical moments. There is something powerful about this entire sequence. You were warned before a serious misalignment could solidify. Many people only realize deception after damage has occurred. You were alerted before deep entanglement. That is protection. As you move forward, rebuild your home's atmosphere intentionally. Rearrange if necessary. Clean thoroughly. Create a sense of renewal physically as a reflection of spiritual reset. When your environment feels refreshed, your mind follows. You may also notice increased dreams or intuitive flashes in the coming nights. Pay attention to them. Write them down if needed. Your spiritual sensitivity is increasing because interference had been reduced. One more truth must be addressed. Do not carry resentment into your future. Exposure is meant to free you, not harden you. Bitterness would reopen the very door that was just closed. Release with dignity. Move forward with wisdom. Pray even for those who disappointed you, but maintain boundaries. The seriousness of tonight was a wake-up call, not a curse. You were standing at a subtle crossroads that could have shaped your next year significantly. And now, you step into it with awareness. And what is ahead is bigger than you currently understand. The next revelation will uncover how your obedience in this moment activates a greater alignment that will surprise you sooner than expected. The preparation you just walked through is directly connected to a breakthrough that has been waiting for a clear path. Warrior of light, what you have just walked through was not merely correction. It was positioning. And now that interference has been exposed and access has been redefined, something powerful is beginning to align in your favor. There is a breakthrough that has been circling your life for some time, but it could not land while your environment carried subtle distortion. Breakthrough requires clarity. Favor requires stability. Expansion requires clean ground. What happened in your home was the clearing of that ground. God is not tired of you. He was tired of the delay. He was tired of watching you stand at the edge of elevation while tolerating what drained you. Now that the draining influence has been identified, your energy will begin to return. You may feel lighter in ways you cannot immediately explain. You may notice sharper focus. You may experience a new wave of ideas or motivation. This is not coincidence. This is restoration. Archangel Michael's presence around your dwelling was never only defensive. It was also preparatory. When a warrior guards a territory, it is often because something valuable is about to enter it. Your house is about to host new opportunities. Conversations will shift. Invitations may arise. Doors that felt stuck may suddenly open. But here is the key. Do not rush ahead emotionally just because things begin improving. Remain grounded. Remain discerning. Just as interference can approach quietly, so can opportunity. Evaluate everything with calm clarity. There is something specific coming that relates to responsibility. You may be trusted with something larger than before. It could be a leadership role, a financial stewardship, or influence over others' decisions. Had hidden manipulation remained near you, that responsibility could have been compromised. Now, your judgment is sharper. This is why timing mattered so much. The seriousness of tonight was connected to protection of your future. If exposure had waited longer, consequences might have multiplied. But because you listened, because you paused before midnight, because you prayed intentionally, acceleration has begun. You might begin to see subtle confirmations in the next few days. A message that affirms your direction. An unexpected compliment acknowledging your growth. A situation resolving more easily than anticipated. These are signs of alignment. However, there is also a test woven into this blessing. Will you revert to old patterns if the exposed person attempts to regain access? Will you soften boundaries prematurely because guilt whispers in your ear? Or will you stand steady in the clarity you were given? Archangel Michael symbolizes unwavering defense. Learn from that posture. Protection does not fluctuate based on emotion. It remains firm because purpose is greater than temporary comfort. You are entering a season where your peace will become non-negotiable. The heaviness that once lingered will feel foreign. You will become more selective about conversations, more intentional about who speaks into your plans, more protective of your environment. This is maturity, and with maturity comes increase. Do not underestimate what God can do once interference is removed. There are blessings that were waiting for space. There are connections that were waiting for openness. There are ideas that were waiting for mental clarity. As the shift settles fully, seal it with declaration. Type "My house is aligned" in the comments if you receive this restoration. Blessing code 808 is now activated over your dwelling and your future assignments. And as you stand in this new alignment, understand that your obedience tonight echoes beyond your own walls. When you choose clarity, you become a vessel of light for others who are still trapped in confusion. The harvest of exposure does not stop with you. Scripture says the light shines in darkness and the darkness cannot overcome it, and that word is alive in this very moment. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not simply giving money. You are sowing oil into a lamp that reaches homes at critical hours. I hear this strongly. Your seed becomes protection in someone else's midnight. As you act, heaven records it as obedience, not donation. This is a prophetic moment to fuel the spread of truth. As you give, may your house remain guarded, may favor rest upon your decisions, and may every future door open without hidden traps. Step forward boldly and activate your support now. Let your generosity become part of someone else's breakthrough. What unfolds next will reveal how quickly alignment can produce visible results when obstruction is removed. The pace is about to change. Strong soul, now that alignment has begun, you must understand the pace of what is about to happen. When obstruction is removed, movement accelerates. What once felt delayed can suddenly unfold with surprising speed. Do not be startled if progress begins happening faster than you expected. There is a spiritual law at work here. Delay often feels like denial, but sometimes delay is protection. You interpreted certain closed doors as rejection. You questioned why specific plans stalled. You wondered why momentum slowed down at critical points. But now, with interference exposed and boundaries restored, you are about to see why timing mattered. God was not withholding from you. He was shielding you from entering new territory with compromised clarity. Archangel Michael's guarding presence around your home was the final stage before acceleration. Once a territory is secured, expansion can begin safely. You may soon notice decisions becoming easier to make. Confusion that once clouded your thoughts will lift. Situations that seemed complicated will simplify. Pay attention to how your confidence shifts. It will not be loud or arrogant. It will feel steady, calm, grounded. That steadiness is evidence that internal correction has taken place. However, there is something important you must remain aware of. When acceleration begins, distractions often try to reappear, not necessarily through the same person, but through similar patterns. A new voice may present itself as supportive while subtly pushing urgency. Someone may attempt to rush you into commitment. Another opportunity may appear attractive but carry hidden pressure. This is where your growth will be tested. You are no longer the version of yourself that ignores small inconsistencies. You are no longer the person who overrides discomfort for the sake of harmony. When something feels rushed, pause. When something feels slightly misaligned, investigate. When someone tries to bypass your boundaries, reaffirm them calmly. Archangel Michael's symbolism in your life now represents disciplined strength. Strength that does not shout. Strength that does not chase. Strength that stands firm. There is also a reward unfolding quietly behind the scenes. A conversation is being prepared. A recognition of your reliability is forming. Someone in a position of influence may soon acknowledge your stability. You might not even realize how closely you have been observed. Your composure during exposure revealed maturity that others respect. This is why the seriousness of that night was necessary. Without it, your composure might have cracked under pressure. But instead, you responded with restraint. That restraint is opening doors. You may also feel an increase in spiritual sensitivity. Moments of intuition will come faster. You may sense when to speak and when to remain silent more clearly than before. Do not dismiss this as coincidence. When interference decreases, clarity increases. There is one more layer to this alignment. Your home is not only a physical space. It is symbolic of your inner world. Clearing your house spiritually mirrors clearing your mind emotionally. As your environment stabilizes, your thoughts will align more easily with purpose. Expect improved focus. Expect renewed motivation. Expect ideas that once felt overwhelming to feel manageable. But remain humble. Acceleration can tempt you to overcommit. Do not accept every invitation simply because doors open quickly. Discernment must accompany speed. Pray before major decisions. Reflect before signing agreements. Seek peace as confirmation, not pressure. God is not done guiding you. The statement, "I'm tired of trying to reach you," marked a turning point. You listened. You responded. Now guidance will feel less urgent and more conversational. Instead of warning alarms, you will experience steady direction. Archangel Michael's assignment does not end here. Protection continues, but it shifts from crisis management to perimeter guarding. You are no longer in immediate danger of repeating the same cycle. You are in a season of guarded growth. In the coming days, you may look back and realize how close you were to deeper entanglement. Gratitude will replace frustration. You will understand that exposure was mercy disguised as discomfort. And what is about to unfold next may surprise you with how tangible it feels. The breakthrough that was delayed is not symbolic. You will be visible, measurable, real. The next revelation will uncover how to steward this acceleration wisely so that what begins now does not fade quickly but establishes lasting stability in your life. Focused one. Acceleration without stewardship can become another form of instability. Now that movement has begun and alignment is settling into your life, wisdom must anchor what favor is building. What starts quickly must be maintained intentionally. The breakthrough approaching you is not temporary excitement. It is structural change. It may show up as increased responsibility, financial opportunity, relational clarity, or a platform where your voice carries more weight. Whatever form it takes, it will require consistency. The same discernment that protected you from hidden interference must now protect you from overextension. There is a difference between opportunity and assignment. Opportunity invites. Assignment requires. Not everything that opens is meant to be carried long term. This is where your sharpened perception becomes essential. Archangel Michael's guarding presence represents disciplined evaluation. Just because you can say yes does not mean you should. In the past, you may have felt pressure to prove yourself. You may have accepted roles or commitments to avoid disappointing others. But this new season demands selective alignment. Ask yourself, before agreeing to anything significant, does this strengthen my peace or disturb it? Does this align with the direction God has been confirming, or does it create subtle confusion? God corrected your environment so your judgment could operate clearly. You not clouded again by rushing. There will also be individuals who notice your acceleration and attempt to reconnect. Some will genuinely respect your growth. Others may seek renewed access for personal benefit. Be polite but observant. Consistency over time reveals intention. You not grant immediate trust based on temporary enthusiasm. Archangel Michael symbolizes boundaries that do not fluctuate based on emotion. Let your boundaries remain steady. If someone previously crossed lines, require consistent change before granting deeper access. Growth in you must be matched by growth in others. Another key to stewarding acceleration is managing your inner dialogue. When things begin improving, self-doubt sometimes resurfaces. You may question whether you are ready. You may fear repeating mistakes. But remember this: the exposure you walked through was training. The composure you displayed was evidence of maturity. You are more prepared than you think. There is also a financial principle connected to this season. Increased clarity often leads to improved decision-making with resources. You may feel prompted to restructure spending, invest differently, or save strategically. Do not ignore these nudges. Stability in your home extends beyond emotional peace into practical wisdom. If this message is strengthening you right now, take a moment to engage actively. Like this video so others who are entering accelerated seasons can receive guidance before making critical decisions. Share it with someone who is stepping into new opportunities but needs discernment. Comment what area of your life is beginning to move faster, because your testimony may confirm someone else's direction. Subscribe and stay connected to this community, because growth requires continued wisdom. And if you feel aligned with this mission, join the membership and stand consistently with messages that guard and guide during pivotal seasons. Now, there is something even deeper unfolding. As your environment stabilizes and acceleration increases, your influence will expand subtly. People will begin seeking your advice. Your perspective will carry weight in rooms where you once felt overlooked. This is not ego elevation. It is spiritual positioning. But influence attracts observation. Stay humble. Stay grounded. Continue private prayer even when public recognition increases. The strength of your house must remain internal before it becomes external. Archangel Michael guards what is fortified from within. You may also notice that certain distractions lose appeal. Activities that once consumed your time will feel unnecessary. Conversations that once entertained you will feel shallow. This is not superiority. It is evolution. You not feel guilty for outgrowing environments that no longer fit your growth. The seriousness of that night marked the end of passive living. You are now in an active season. Decisions carry greater weight. Words carry greater consequence. But so do blessings. The next insight will reveal how to anchor this momentum long-term so that acceleration does not burn out but transforms into sustained expansion. Hold your focus, because what comes next ensures that this breakthrough becomes permanent rather than temporary. Anchored soul, momentum is powerful, but momentum without roots can collapse under pressure. What you are stepping into now is not a short burst of favor. It is the beginning of sustained expansion. And sustained expansion requires depth. The correction that took place in your home was the first layer. The acceleration that followed was the second. Now comes the establishment phase. This is where habits solidify, structures strengthen, and long-term stability is built. You must intentionally anchor what has begun. There will be a temptation to relax now that tension has lifted. You may feel that the danger has passed and the lesson has been learned. But growth is not maintained by relief alone. It is maintained by discipline. Archangel Michael's presence around your life represents ongoing vigilance, not temporary reaction. Create rhythms that protect your peace. Set consistent times of reflection. Guard your mornings or evenings with intentional stillness. The clarity you fought to gain must be protected daily, not only during crisis. There is also a relational anchoring happening. As you maintain your boundaries calmly and consistently, people will begin adjusting to the new version of you. Some will respect it. Some will distance themselves. Allow both outcomes without anxiety. When your standards rise, your circle refines naturally. Do not chase those who step back. If someone feels uncomfortable with your clarity, that discomfort is their invitation to grow, not your invitation to shrink. You are also being called to refine your communication. Speak directly but kindly. Express expectations without aggression. Clarify misunderstandings early rather than allowing them to build. Stability thrives in transparent communication. Financially and practically, this is a season to build reserves. Save where you once spent impulsively. Plan where you once assumed. Organize where you once tolerated disorder. These actions may seem small, but they anchor acceleration. Spiritually, you will notice your prayers shifting. They will become less reactive and more strategic. Instead of asking for rescue, you will ask for guidance. Instead of pleading for clarity, you will declare alignment. This shift marks maturity. Archangel Michael does not only respond to emergencies. He stands guard over territories that are claimed with authority. Continue claiming your space. Continue declaring peace over your dwelling. Continue refusing subtle manipulation. There is something significant about your internal confidence now. It is quieter than before, but stronger. You are less impressed by surface charm, less intimidated by pressure, less swayed by emotional persuasion. This is rooted discernment. However, anchoring expansion also means forgiving yourself fully. You not replay past naivety with regret. You responded when correction came. That matters. Growth is not about never making mistakes. It is about adjusting when truth appears. You may soon experience a confirmation that solidifies everything you have learned. It could be a new opportunity handled with wisdom. It could be a conversation navigated calmly that once would have triggered you. It could be a financial decision made strategically instead of emotionally. These confirmations will reassure you that transformation is real. Remain patient during this establishment phase. Not every day will feel dramatic. Some days will feel steady and quiet. Do not mistake steady for stagnant. Stability is success in motion. There is also a calling emerging within you. As your life stabilizes, others will quietly observe your composure. Someone may approach you for advice about a similar situation. Your experience will become guidance for another. Share wisely. Speak from lessons, not superiority. The seriousness of that initial warning was not to frighten you, but to awaken you into this very stability. You are no longer drifting emotionally. You are steering intentionally. And now, the final revelation approaches. It will seal everything that has unfolded and declare what this entire sequence ultimately means for your future. Prepare your heart, because what is about to be spoken confirms that this was not merely correction, but divine redirection toward something greater than you imagined. Victorious one, everything that unfolded from that urgent warning to this very moment has been leading to a single conclusion. You were not being threatened, you were being redirected. When God said, "I'm tired of trying to reach you," it was not frustration rooted in rejection. It was urgency rooted in destiny. You were standing at the edge of a path that would have quietly drained your strength, delayed your progress, and clouded your judgment for far longer than you realized. Heaven intervened because your future is too significant to be shaped by hidden influence. The exposure in your home was a wake-up call. The acceleration that followed was a confirmation. The stabilization you are now building is the evidence of transformation. Look at who you are now compared to who you were before that night. You are calmer, less easily swayed, more observant. You no longer ignore subtle discomfort. You no longer dismiss intuition so quickly. You no longer allow access without evaluation. That is growth sealed by experience. Archangel Michael's assignment around your life was never random. It marked a spiritual promotion. Protection increased because responsibility increased. Awareness sharpened because calling expanded. When heaven guards something intensely, it is because that something carries weight. You carry weight. Not pressure. Not burden. But influence. Your decisions ripple. Your stability impacts others. Your peace creates safety for those connected to you. If your home had remained clouded by subtle manipulation, the ripple effect would have been distortion. Instead, clarity now flows outward. There is a greater chapter opening ahead of you. It will require leadership, discernment, and confidence. You will be trusted in ways you have not been trusted before. You will handle matters that once felt intimidating with steady hands. The very area that was tested will become the area where you stand strongest. And here is the final truth. The seriousness of that warning was proportional to the greatness of what you are stepping into. The louder the wake-up call, the larger the redirection. Do not forget what you learn. Do not slowly drift back into old tolerance. Do not shrink boundaries to keep temporary comfort. Continue walking in clarity. Continue guarding your environment. Continue praying with authority over your dwelling. Midnight has already passed, and you are still standing. What was meant to destabilize you has strengthened you. What was meant to distract you has refined you. What was meant to confuse you has sharpened you. Now seal this transformation with faith. Type "I walk in divine authority" in the comments if you receive this final confirmation. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your home, your decisions, and your future expansion. And as this message closes, hear this clearly. The same light that exposed hidden interference in your house is meant to reach countless other homes before their midnight moments arrive. The word says, "Rise, shine, for your light has come, and tonight that command is alive over you." When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description. You are not supporting a platform. You are fueling a beacon. I feel this strongly. As I step forward in obedience, I become a carrier of light for someone else's darkness. Your giving becomes oil that keeps this flame burning. Your seed becomes a shield over another family. This is not casual generosity. It is prophetic participation. As you sow, may your house remain guarded, may your finances be stabilized, and may every future door open under divine protection. Do not hesitate. Activate your support now. Let your obedience echo into homes you may never see but heaven deeply cares about. You were regent. You responded. And now you rise.